Hello everybody, thanks for tuning into the video. So today we are going to be talking about ways and things that you can do to remain celibate during your journey to get closer to God. Now these are in no particular order. You can follow them the way that you want to follow them. I'm just going to tell you guys what worked best for me. So obviously the overall goal is to remain celibate until you are married. And the main thing you have to focus on is removing the lust from your heart, because that is what is going to keep us, doing the things that we're trying not to do. So I'm just going to start by giving you a little bit of my backstory. That way you're not thinking that you are alone. You're the only one out here who's going through this, because believe me, you're not. So I went 2.5 years. I abstained from sex, and I decided that, okay, 2.5 years is long enough. I think I can date now. I'm ready. So I dated this guy. Like, the chemistry was there, the vibe was there, everything was there. And he was not trying to be celibate though. So the thing was, we were very unequally yoked. And I ended up breaking my 2.5 year celibacy for this guy. Now, I'm not going to try to say he forced me or anything like that, because he didn't. I'm an adult. But I did break my celibacy, and I was very upset with myself. And so after me and him stopped communicating, I had to, take accountability. And I sat back and I'm like, okay, what did I do wrong? I went so long without it. I thought that I was ready. And the thing about it is, I was so focused on the time frame and the length of how long I was actually celibate that I didn't do any work during that 2.5 years. And by work, I mean I didn't do what I should have done to remove the lust from my heart in that 2.5 years. Even though I was abstaining from sex, I was not putting in the work. So again, these are in no specific order. These are just the things that I did when I was beginning my journey. So the very first thing that I did was I repented to God, and I asked for forgiveness for the previous sin that I had committed with fornication. So it doesn't have to be something outrageous. You don't have to fast for 40 days and 40 nights and go into the wilderness. I mean, if you want to do that, you can, but I don't recommend that. That's not what I did. So it can be as simple as a small prayer like, Father, I'm coming to you because I sinned, and I'm asking for your forgiveness. I'm dedicating myself back to you, and just something similar to that. Okay, so it can be a simple prayer, because God knows what's really in your heart, and that's all that really matters. So you don't want to come into the beginning of your journey without asking God for forgiveness first. So like I said, these aren't in any specific order, but I do recommend starting there. So the second thing that I did was I had to stop watching TV shows, movies, and listening to music with a lot of lust in them. Okay, so you might think that those are harmless, like, oh, it's just fake, they're just actors, that's just a rapper or a singer. But you have to be mindful what you feed your spirit. Okay, so it's like if you have chips and pop and candy and a lot of snacks, and you feed yourself that stuff, like, yeah, sure, it's going to fill you up, but you're going to feel sluggish, you're going to feel lazy, versus you having some, fruits and vegetables and protein, stuff like that, that is filling as well, but you're going to be more energetic, you're going to be in a better mood. So it's the same way that you feed your body. You have to feed your spirit things that, that are going to get you to where you want to be. And when you're listening to R&B all the time, which is very lustful, some of it can be, when you're watching movies and watching TV shows with a lot of sex and stuff in it, it's going to entice you, and it's going to get your mind to thinking about the things that you're trying to get away from. And so if you are a person that watches porn, whether it's once a week, whether it's every day, that is another thing that you have to get rid of, because that also includes feeding your spirit things that you probably shouldn't be watching. Okay, and so this next thing is a big one. This might ruffle some feathers and might make some people uncomfortable, but you have to give up masturbation, okay? So any toys that you may have, men and women both, you have to get rid of them, okay? It's not something that you can hang on to and just go, okay, maybe I'll use it for for later, maybe a month from now, I'll be, I need to keep it for some insurance. I feel like those are things that you should cold turkey, just throw them in the trash. And masturbation is the same thing. So at the beginning of my journey, I feel like I tried to give myself a little wiggle room and go, well, okay, masturbation should be fine because it's not technically a sin, and I'm not using physical contact with anybody else. So I actually sat and really thought about it, and I feel like masturbation itself, like the physicalness of it, is not the sin. It's more so about the lust, because let's be real, you can't do that and focus on what you're going to eat for dinner tonight, or think about basketball or football. You're not thinking about that while you're doing that. You're thinking about lustful things, maybe an act that you did with somebody else or a porno that you saw. So the lust part is the part where you should stop masturbating, because again, that's just going to be feeding and feeding that lust spirit, and we are trying to get rid of that. So the next thing I'm going to focus on is dating. So this can be a tough one, especially if you already have a significant other and then you're just starting this journey of wanting to be celibate. It's going to be really tough to do that if that person is not on the same page as you. So if you have already been on your journey and you think that you are ready to start dating, be sure to choose somebody who is on the same path as you, because it is much easier for them to get you to come over to the dark side versus you getting them to do good. So you have to choose somebody you're equally yoked with. And if you are still like to the point where you're not that strong, you still have a lot of lustful thoughts, I suggest not even dating at all. So I went a while without dating. During the 2.5 year celibacy of mine, I didn't date that whole time. And the same for me starting over now. I haven't dated since I begun my celibacy journey this time either, because it's just easier for me that way versus having somebody enticing you. But again, as long as you're picking somebody you're equally yoked with, you should have no problem. They shouldn't be enticing you to do things that you don't want to do. They should understand and recognize your journey. Okay, and so the next thing I did was I had to focus my energy and my time around the people who understood my journey, meaning hanging with specific friends who are trying to go out all the time and just do the things that I don't want to do anymore in terms of maintaining my celibacy. So don't hang around those people who are constantly trying to remind you of who you used to be. They're bringing up things like, oh, remember when you used to do this with so and so, or remember when you used to do, because those people are not here to help you. Okay, you want to hang around people who are going to celebrate you. They're going to be happy for you. People who are going to help you to get through your journey without all of the negative comments. So be mindful of who you are hanging around during this time of your life. So getting rid of substances is another thing that will help you during your journey. So I'm talking about, the puff puff give and the little drinky drinks that y'all be having, okay? You have to get rid of those things too. If you are somebody who is not good at cold turkeying and you just feel like you have too bad of a habit with it, you need to just use it in moderation, I feel like, because those things enhance your brain to do things that you wouldn't normally do. Like, how many times have you heard stories of like your friends or even yourself, like, oh yeah, I was drunk when I did that or this, or I wouldn't normally do that. Those are things that will make you do things that you normally wouldn't do. And those are the times when the devil can swoop in and he can, get you to do what he wants you to do because you're vulnerable and you're not yourself. So use it in moderation if you feel like you still need to do it, but if you feel like you can do without, cold turkey the substances. So even though this one is towards the end of the video, I feel like this is a really, really important one, okay? You have to study your Bible, pray, and listen to sermons very often. Those are things that are going to strengthen your spirit and give you what you need, the tools that you need to be able to maintain and hold out and wait and not worry so much about it, okay? Reading your Bible and studying the Word is very important because Jesus can give you tips in there of things that you need to do, and also listening to sermons. Whoever your favorite pastor is, there is Joyce Myers and T.D. Jakes and Marilyn Hickey and the Copelands, Gloria and Kenneth, and there's Sarah Jakes, and then there's even some newer pastors now. Like there is, I feel like Michael Todd is one that's like a newer generation pastor, so a lot of people take well to him because he speaks different than the older pastors. So Michael Todd is another good one. If you guys don't have anybody, just listen to sermons and read your Bible because they will help you through this, okay? Another one is the prayer. You have to pray, and don't ever think that your problem is too small to go to God. Don't ever feel embarrassed to talk to him because he wants you to talk to him. He wants to help you through this. So even if it's just something as simple as, hey God, I am just feeling lonely right now, or I'm feeling like I want to just go and have sex with somebody, whatever it may be, whatever is in your heart, speak it to God. Take your problems to him. He wants that. He wants you to rest in him and give him all of your worries. So prayer really helps, studying the Bible and listening to sermons. Last but not least, you have to understand that you are human. Understand that you are going to make mistakes. There's going to be downtime. Sometimes you might be sad and lonely, especially if you're somebody who's used to, having sex every day and then you're just trying to cold turkey it. And whatever the case may be, realize and understand that you're human. You are not alone in this. You are not the only one going through this. There is a lot of us out there, whether or not we are talking about it or whether or not it's somebody close to you. there is somebody going through the journey with you. Okay, so don't think that the tips that I'm giving you is where it ends at. I'm sure there's plenty more tips, there's more things. You guys can actually leave it in the comments for me. Let me know if I missed something, if there's something that you're doing, things that I can try, because I'm not perfect either. I have those times where I'm like, Lord, I need you to help me because I'm going through it over here. So just understand that you're human. Don't let anybody tell you you can't do it. Don't let people bring you down. Just continue the path, and kudos to everybody who is trying to better themselves. But thanks for tuning in, you guys. If you have not already, be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, click that notification bell so that you can see any updates and videos that I post. And just do that. It's free. It takes 2 seconds and it helps the algorithm of my video. Peace.